What is up, everybody? My name is Will. This is our new podcast. We're going to call it Show Your Stripes. It's a Tigers podcast, and where most of it, well, me and Allie are going to go over and talk about whatever the Tigers are doing and whatnot. I'm going to be rambling off as usual. Allie, if you want to go ahead and get your first thoughts in.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited to be here, talk about it. Definitely has been an emotional roller coaster this season, so I know it will be interesting to actually talk about it more.
All right, so obviously we're recording this the day after the All-Star game, and it's, just to put it bluntly, it's been a disaster of a first half. Obviously, we have not been given the baseball we had thought we would get. We all, obviously, most of us had the prediction that we would go in and have a fringe playoff contender. At least some of us thought that, but we're out here sitting at 37-55, worse than we were last year, and it's got the fan base in shambles, to put it bluntly. And yeah. So I'm one. You go ahead.
It's definitely been an interesting first half. After our first game, when we won on an air, or not, well, them replaying it, we was looking. I would definitely thought we were looking for a good season, and then it's been quite a roller coaster since then.
Yeah, I mean, really, there's only been like three highlights that I can think of that have happened this season. You had opening day, obviously, and then um, you had Miggy getting his 3,000th hit, and then other than that, you really could make it. It could be a crapshoot as to who you would pick the third highlight of, but I would honestly pick the Miggy stealing third base the other day
That was
because
amazing.
yeah, it was. There really is not a whole lot you couldn't say that was been positive for this team. It's
No, I mean, we
yeah,
started thinking School was our ace of the season, and we see where that has gone. So,
I mean, he's still. It's
yeah,
hard to believe that he has 6 wins, but his ERA is at 4, and it was like sub 1 at one point in this season. And
yeah, it was.
I'm gonna be out on a limb here. I saw it. I said, "Oh yeah, he's a Cy Young contender." I even remember tweeting at somebody saying, "Like, oh no, Nestor Cortez, the he's not the Cy Young Award winner. It's gonna be Tarek Skubal." And look where that got me.
Yeah, I remember looking after his 10th start in comparison to Justin Verlander's 10th start, and their ERAs and amount of hits were like almost the same exact amount. So,
It's like his first
definitely.
it's like his first 10 starts were completely separate or completely different from what his last few have been. Cause and it's stupid that and it's a shame because like his stats in May, he was 2-0 with a 1.45 ERA, but in the month of June, he was 2-4 with a 5.85 ERA.
Ugh, it's like completely two different people.
And it really does not make any sense as to what happened. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure when his next start is because I'm not sure who the probables are for the doubleheader tomorrow. Um, Obviously, I think one of them's gonna be what's it, Garrett Hill. That's what
Yeah.
I remember. But I honestly said it last night in the other pod I recorded, and I'm gonna stick with it here. I honestly do not see us sweeping that doubleheader. We're either gonna lose one or we're gonna lose both
Oh yeah,
because
I definitely
when
think
we
we're gonna split it, if
because when
anything.
we played Oakland in that 5 game stretch in it was back in May, we lost 4 of 5 to them, and I'm probably going to stick with the theory that was probably the lowest point of the season, other than those blowout games, because
Yeah.
losing 4 out of 5 to the worst team in the American League is not a good look.
No, definitely not. I
And
know, like, at one point, at one point during the season, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, we actually surpassed them in the amount of runs that we actually hit when we were going on our 6-game win streak, and now we're just back to the lowest amount of runs hit this season. So
I looked it up last night because there's a page on the MLB website that lets you look at runs scored and runs allowed. The Tigers are the last team. They are the last team that does not have 300 runs yet.
that's
We have
absolutely crazy.
we have 288 runs scored, and we have played I think 91 or 92 games.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy.
I do not understand. It's just mind-boggling what this offense is this season. Because you had the offense that was last year's offense, where you had a bunch of guys coming out, breaking out, like Eric Haas and Akil Baddoo breaking out and having these career years, and now you've got Baddoo, who's batting, I believe, like 150 right now. Eric Haas is not, his average isn't there, but he's showing signs of that power that we saw from him last season. And obviously Robbie Grossman and Jonathan Scope, those contracts have, let's just say they have fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it there, because they definitely, I mean, they have their moments, but compared to where they should be, it's definitely, I mean, none of our offense is where they should be. We all thought that, I mean, I am not saying that he is not going to be a great player, but everyone assuming when Torp came up this season that it was going to be like some epic player. And then I don't know, like, it just surprises me what has been going on with this offense this season. Like, there has not been much improvement made. And I don't know if you put that on the coaches, you put that on the players. Like,
You could maybe put it on a bit. I kind of said it last night. I'm going to keep mentioning that I said it in the last pod that I recorded. But I kind of put it on a bit of bad luck and a bit of the coaching, because, let's be honest, Scott Kubal should not be employed. He should have been fired a while ago, but he's not going to be fired. And
yeah.
I put it into, I kind of knew that it was going to be that way because he was the hitting coach of the 2018 Baltimore Orioles, the team that I believe lost 114 games.
Okay.
And I understand that Hinch likes him and he's not going to go anywhere for a while, but if you're going to have the historically one of the worst offenses in the history of the game, I don't know how you could still be employed. But like I said, a lot of it's bad luck. Like to have these many guys fall off a cliff in terms of their batting average, there's got to be some bad luck involved in it. It can't, like,
Oh, yeah.
because obviously we all thought at first it was the dead balls, but it's kind of come around because the home run is kind of back if you watch other teams.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
so that you really can't blame the dead ball for that. It's just a bunch of impatient at bats, low walk rates. It's a whole lot of things that you can blame on the player for. Like, I mean, I even said it the other day. Like with Robbie Grossman, he can walk still, but when he does it, it's literally the most meaningless time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to put it into perspective. I was down in Cleveland this past weekend for which I thought was going to be 2 games, and ended up only seeing 1. And of course, we lost that game 10-0,
Yes.
which put me into a serious mental, which I needed drinks after that. I'll put it bluntly, because it was painful.
I can imagine. Yes, that game definitely did not go the way anyone was going to think. I really thought this last series against Cleveland was going to be a good point for us. Definitely did not go that way.
Yeah, I literally went down there. I was gonna be like, "Oh, hey, we can win these. We can win these games. I can shove it in all these Guardians fans' faces." But yeah, we ended up going out here, and Michael Pineda ended up throwing batting practice. But back to Grossman, I literally said he walked, I think, when we were down 9-0, and I'm thinking to myself, how much more meaningless of a walk can you pad your stats with that?
Yeah, that's not good. It's definitely, I mean, the game itself was just horrendous to watch.
Yeah, it was really a dumpster fire of a game, that last series in Cleveland, and it's really embarrassing how, like, the teams we beat, we really only take one. I think we've only swept two teams, I believe, and that's in harsh contrast to last season, because I can remember we swept a ton of teams last year. We've
Yeah,
only swept Cleveland once, and we've swept the Orioles, which
yes. And
that is,
that was before their turning point of the season. So,
yeah. Now the Orioles are ahead of us in terms of their rebuild, which infuriates me, and I'm sure infuriates a lot of the fan base
definitely. I
because
mean, they went on a 10-game win streak. They were pretty much they were with us, and then we lost ours. And now the Mariners, I mean, the Mariners are insane right now, but
yeah,
going the Orioles, they had their nice 10-game win streak going there too.
yeah, it would have been nice if we had kept that going, because obviously since we've lost that streak, we've only won 2 of 10, and it's
Yeah.
been, and when we lose them, it's always in either a close or embarrassing fashion.
Oh yeah. And I think that 6-game win streak really like started to hype up the Tigers fans a little bit more because at some point you just it's just hard to keep going. Like I mean, you have your diehard fans who will always cheer on the team no matter what. But when you're getting to these in like games that are just complete shutouts, I mean, looking back at it, what there was 9 shutouts last season, and we just had our 13th shutout the other day.
Yep.
I mean, I remember I heard Dan on the radio saying that like I think our average number of runs per game now is 3.2 after that like I think after our 12th shutout, which is the lowest it's been since like 1904 or something like that. I remember him saying, which is absolutely insane to me.
Especially considering I think that was literally the fourth season of the Tigers' existence.
Yeah. So, just absolutely insane.
So yeah, I'm looking at the schedule here. Obviously, we got that doubleheader in Oakland, which I'm not looking forward to. And then you have five at home against the two against the Twins, and then three against the Padres before we hit the
Yeah.
road again. Which, honestly, I
Going to be
feel like. Go ahead.
it's going to be I feel it's going to be pretty rough.
Yeah,
These just with like and especially knowing that just based on how our last start, I mean for Pineda went, and then if they bring up Garrett Hill again, hopefully we can get a start closer to his first one. But then that leaves us with what, Scooble and Brisky, because Faedo got put on the IL, if I remember correctly. So I mean, all of our better starting pitchers, I feel, are gone.
yeah,
Besides Brisky and School.
yeah. I'm thinking there's going to be at least one bullpen game in this homestand, if not two, because I mean, they were going to pull one on Sunday, and I wouldn't be shocked if the first game of that doubleheader is going to be the bullpen game. Because,
Yeah.
and especially considering they brought back Cisnero, and he's going to help the pen, I would imagine.
Yes, we
And
can only hope.
it's going to. I wouldn't be shocked by the end of the day today. We're going to figure out who's going to replace Torkelson on the roster, because I know they never
They never
really
really
announced
said it.
it.
Yeah.
It'll
I am very interested to see who they bring up for him.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna select somebody's contract. I feel like they're gonna take somebody who's on the 40 man. I'm gonna
Yeah.
and see who would those options be.
Yeah.
You've got Brendan Davis, who I mean, I would be in favor of that, but I'm not sure how he's hitting down there. Zach
Yeah,
Short is down there, and then you've got the three outfielders of Cody Clemens, Daz Cameron, and Derek Hill, who have all played at the major leagues at some point this season.
that's
And
true. I wouldn't be shocked if they bring Cody back up. I
yeah,
mean,
I wouldn't either.
he's been hitting pretty well down there. I know he hit a few homers this week, and he's been getting his at bats better than they were doing when he was up. So I wouldn't be shocked if they. The only thing I'm worried about is at this point not having a first baseman who is familiar enough with like for instance catching some of Javi's lovely throws.
Yeah,
So
that's
I know that they've had Harold Castro in first, but definitely interested to see how that goes.
how I've been thinking it because like I mean, it feels like either one out of three of Baez's throws is either on the money or he's throwing it in the dirt, and Torkel and saves most of those. And I'm afraid if whoever plays first, whether it be Scope, Castro, or whoever they call up, there's gonna be at least one that's not gonna be scooped up and thrown past the first base line. It's
Yeah,
That's what I'm afraid of, and I feel like without Torque's defense there, it's gonna hurt the first baseman's position. But I knew that he needed to go down at some point, as much as I hate to say it,
oh yeah,
because
same.
hitting a 198 in your rookie season is not a good look.
No, and I mean based on other, like even his last season, like based on his numbers, there's no reason he should be hitting where he's at. Like at first, at the beginning of the season, after like talking with people and hearing, I really thought after so many games, it was really going to start to click. And then I know he had those few games where he had like a like a 3-hit streak going, but it just never continued. So I'm really hoping that this trip down to Toledo does him good because we definitely could use someone coming up and bringing a little bit more to the offense side of it.
Yeah, it's really a sad thing all around because I know everyone anticipated when Torque came up, he's gonna be like, oh, he's gonna be like the next incarnation of mid-year Josh Donaldson in terms of the power and the player we were expecting, and he's hitting 197 with a 577 OPS. And I'm no
Yeah.
stat nerd, but I know that ain't good. And
No.
I know he has 52 hits, but most of those hits, 11 doubles, 5 home runs, and most of those singles are like bloops to the opposite
Yeah.
field.
hmm Just
And
like it's insane to me to like also look at like the amount of homers we've had in our season compared to these other teams. Like I think our highest number, or I think Baez has the highest number of homers right now at what, like 7 or 8?
it's 9.
9 now? Okay. Yeah. So it's just crazy to me since there's so many other teams that these players are getting that within like weeks. And we are what, 92 games in?
Yep, and we don't
Like,
have a guy hitting over 10 home runs.
yeah, that's absolutely insane.
And literally, Aaron Judge is I think a 32,
30,
31 or
32.
32, something like that. And our highest hitter is hitting now. He has 9 home runs and he's hitting 213. And it's really amazing.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, Miggy has our highest batting average on the team right now.
which should not be the case. I mean, let's be honest. I'd love to see it,
No,
but like a 39-year-old Miguel Cabrera should not be your team's highest batting average leader.
no. The with how many young talent you have coming up and how many, I mean, even just like this in players, like Miggy should definitely need the highest. And especially with how many, I mean, he's played a lot of games, but he's also sat out a bunch of them. So, I mean, you have
Yeah, I mean,
other players who have played a lot more this season. So it's just It's definitely a little mind-boggling to see the stats on that.
Yeah, the whole thing, I wanted to go ahead and go into a bit of the thing that we've kind of been holding off for a minute with Avila. I feel like I wanted to get all of the introductory stuff out of the way before we could go off on him, because obviously he is not a good general manager. I think
No.
everybody knows that. But
Yes.
I heard a stat the other day that I think it was on 97.1 that said that he was compared to Matt Millen. He's like the modern day Matt Millen of the Detroit Lions, and if in Avila's had a longer leash in terms of how long he's been here. I've said it before on multiple different podcasts, and I've said it countless of times of complaining on the timeline. I have no idea how he is still employed. It
No.
really is mind-boggling.
It does not make any sense on how it's obvious there's something wrong. I mean, we're literally producing the worst offense in like MLB history, and it was supposed like the rebuild, as has been said multiple times over, has been over. So how are we at where we're at if it's over? Like, I don't understand how they're not seeing it. That I don't know if they just don't want to put it down on one person, but I mean, there's obviously something wrong, and I don't know how he still has a job.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with Chris Ilitch's negligence. I mean, that quote he put up a couple of weeks ago when they introduced the Red Wings' new coach, which I got to look up his name here because I forgot. Yeah, Derek Lalonde. When they announced him, Chris Ilitch was asked, "Oh, hey, how do you feel about the progress of these rebuilds?" And he goes out and says, "I'm enjoying the progress with the Tigers." I got to pull up the quote here because it was so ridiculous. I was literally reading that and I'm like, here we go. I'm very pleased with the progress of the Detroit Tigers, the Detroit Red Wings, and I'm very pleased with the progress of the Detroit Tigers despite a very slow start to the season. And
What progress?
actually some good progress happening with some of the young guys that have come up and developed, and so on and so forth. And I'm thinking to myself, what progress are you seeing? You've got Spencer Torkelson hitting 197. You've got Riley Green, he's been all right. I'll give him that. I can't really rip on him, but
No.
and you've got Casey Mize, Tommy John surgery. You've got Spencer Turnbull, Tommy John surgery. You've got basically half of your rotation on the injured list, and you're gonna go ahead and say, "Oh, yeah, everything's okay." I think we're doing good, guys.
Yeah. Like, the one thing that happened this season that we can honestly say was good was Miggy getting his 3,000th hit. I don't really know what else we see as like progress, especially, I mean, we look at some of our starting pitchers, like, yes, I think Brisky has made a decent progress this season, but then you have like Skubal again, how we go back, like, it's been like backtracked, like, it's not, he started off really good and it's just been a progression, or it's been a decline since. And I mean, looking at it, like, our starting pitching lineup on opening day, the only one that is left still is Skubal. Everyone else has been on the IL pretty much since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it's really just mind-boggling. I swear, if Mike Ilitch was here, I'm assuming if he was still alive, he would probably have fired Avila probably quite a while ago.
Yeah.
It's just the amount of ignorance that Chris Ilitch is showing in the ownership role that is continuing to send this off. And I don't think it's going to change because I don't think Chris Ilitch wants to sell the team as much as we want him to. I just can't see it. I really just do not see it happening anytime soon.
No.
And
And it's just, hopefully, I mean, it just, you would think that they would want to make a change to get this team better, because at this point, I mean, you saw, you probably saw the video of Padres coming back to the dugout and them pretty much saying that the Tigers were idiots
It was the
for
Rays,
letting
yeah.
that. Yes, that's yep.
Yeah,
So I mean,
that video annoyed me. I'm gonna go ahead and say it out on a limb because I know that he's saying like the team in general, but like it was really
yeah.
Alvila is the idiot there. I mean,
Oh
as much
yeah.
I'm gonna be an Austin Meadows truther until I die because he deserves none of the hate that he gets. But like, I
No.
understand the frustration of that trade.
Yeah.
But let's be
It,
honest, I don't think if Paredes was to stay here, he probably wouldn't have been the player that he is now because the
no.
Rays just do a hell of a job of developing talent. It's
Oh,
insane.
definitely. No, I definitely think I Austin Meadows has just hit terrible luck this season after one thing after another, and it's nothing that he's doing. Like I mean, it's just he's just got a case of bad luck this season.
Yeah. I mean, what is it? I gotta remember. I'm trying to think of what his injuries have been. He had that one strain. He went on the IL, I think, in May. Came back in early June, played a few games, then went back on the IL. Or I think he had COVID. Yeah, he got COVID. Went on like
COVID,
COVID IL. Then
he had vertigo.
yep. Then he had vertigo. Tried coming back for a rehab assignment from that. Then he had like strains in his calves. Had another rehab assignment, and they said he still had pain in those calves. And now we don't know when he's going to play again this season. And I feel terrible for him because I know it's not his fault. It's just a bunch of
Yeah,
bad luck. But it makes me wonder, like, where is he going to play once he comes back? Because, like, you've already got Green playing in the center field. I mean,
dominating in center field.
you really could make a case for, like, Reyes in right field staying permanent all time. But, I mean, as long as he's
Yeah.
playing in left, I feel like he can stay there.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of, like, when he comes back.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see when he is finally able to join the roster again because it's been, I mean, what, he's only probably played under 40 games this season?
I don't even think it's that. I gotta pull it up here, but I think he's only played like 30 something. It's and it sucks. It really sucks. Let me see here. 40-man roster. I had it set to the main one. Okay. Austin Meadows has played in let's see. Four in where am I at? 36. Yeah, I was not even 40. 36 games.
That's crazy. So a third of the season, basically.
And when he plays with I mean, he's been the player we kind of asked for. The only thing that really hasn't been there is the home run power. But
Yeah,
he's got two triples and six doubles. I mean,
yeah.
it's been there. And
I mean, he's had decent extra base hits compared to how many games he's actually played. He just hasn't had enough at bats because of how low number of games he's played to have like that homer power, I feel.
yeah, I know he had a couple where it should have won out. Like I think both of those triples, I was at both of those games, and I think both of those would have been home runs in other ballparks if it was not at Comerica Park for crying
Yep.
out loud.
Yeah. It's basically the story of our life there.
Yeah,
I feel like I feel like we've missed a lot of opportunities for home runs. They hit super far always when we're at home rather than when they're away. And yet can't make a home run when we're gone.
yeah, it really doesn't. I really feel like it's not always going to be a joke to make of our station, of our team, to make our ballpark that. Um, I'm just looking at Twitter real quick because I wanted to see. I'm looking to see if there's anything interesting coming up on the timeline. I'm going to read this real quick just because it's interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, according to Mike Rodriguez of Univision in Chicago, the Mets, Yankees, Cardinals, Dodgers, and White Sox are going to try and make offers for Juan Soto. Which, as a Tigers fan, I'm going to say this: if he goes to the White Sox, we are. I'm going to say it's screwed. We are screwed. If he's in our division, we are
Oh,
going. Yeah, we are completely screwed if he's.
Yeah. I
I just
mean,
don't. The thing
I
is,
can't
though,
even
I just don't
imagine.
see that offer being a serious offer, considering how cheap the White Sox ownership can be.
Yeah, no. We could just hope that doesn't go through because I can't even imagine. I mean, we already struggle against them. I mean, we won. I know we won a few games. We had a few good games going against them, but
I mean, what? I mean, I just can't see that lineup with if you had Juan Soto, unless you're throwing like Luis Robert or somebody of that nature back to Washington. I don't see him being a White Sox. Which,
no.
which I mean, I'm happy about that because I would legitimately consider my life question my life choices if he was a White Sox. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm very interested to see where he ends up, though. I know,
I even
especially after the home run derby.
I even seen before that before I came on here and started recording that apparently yeah, right here. Juan Soto had to fly commercial to the home run derby because the Nationals refused to give him a charter flight after rejecting his contract extension.
Are you serious? That is insane.
Yep, that came out of USA Today Sports.
That's crazy. It really shows that they obviously aren't really that caring about him as a player anymore, and they are just ready for that trade.
Yeah, I understand that you can be pissed at a guy for rejecting a contract extension, especially of that nature. You're
Yeah,
rejecting $440 million, which hell, I mean, I would take that money. You and I would take that
yeah,
money. But
definitely.
I understand he's a generational talent and he's gonna want a huge contract. I just don't see how the hell if he's gonna get 500 if he's gonna get $500 million, it's gonna be from like that from Steve Cohen or George Steinbrenner in New York or in the Dodgers
Yeah,
system. It's gonna be one of those three.
yeah. But big team, big money. They'll be willing to pay for him.
Yeah. I mean, of course, if this was like a decade prior to this, we might have been able to be in the running for it because Mike Ilitch would throw money around.
But
But
we can't put
yeah,
out
because
the extra money to get, decent decent talent on the team.
those hot and readies aren't selling enough apparently.
Yeah. But especially, well, going back to the home run derby, I mean, I just found it crazy that that Soto didn't end up winning. I mean, I think it was just too much exertion at the beginning of it, but I remember correctly that he had 82 homers and
J Rod, you mean?
oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
J
that's
Rod
right.
was he went crazy in that game. He went crazy in the derby, man. It was
Insane.
yeah, it really was. I mean, he was. I don't know how he didn't win it. I'm gonna be honest. I mean,
No.
he just kind of ran out of gas at the end. But he's going to be a superstar. I know he
Oh
is.
yeah. It was
It should,
insane.
and it makes you wonder, like how good of a player can Torque be, or any of our rookies be? If J Rod's gonna be that good, like
Mhm.
what is our prospect ceilings?
Yeah, I mean, he's 23. So looking at our rookies, I mean, if we can get that player development and hopefully get better at bats, I mean, I'm hoping, I mean, even something closer to how he was at the Derby. I mean, our rookies, you obviously look at their stats from previous seasons or other teams that they're on, and you see that it's there, except it's just not there with us.
It never really
So
has
it's,
been. I mean, you could make an argument that the best hitter we've developed out of our farm, like most of the ones we've developed in recent memory, have not been playing for our team. Like Eugenio Suarez, for example, we got rid of him and in 2014 for Alfredo Simon, which is probably one of the worst trades we've ever made. And he is he had a season in 2019 where his average was awful, but he hit, I believe, 49 home runs.
That's crazy.
And I mean, it was kind of fitting that we
Yeah.
always kind of do that, but like, it
Hmm.
makes you wonder what he could have done if we had kept on to that and did not trade for Simon, because it was a kind of a pity move, or like a panic move, I should say.
Yeah. No, I feel there's definitely a lot of built up potential in these rookies, but hopefully that's like going back to what, like, hopefully this stint in Toledo for Torque really helps bring out that homer power. I mean, based on his season in AAA and then even just like during his college career too, like, he's one to have a decent amount of homers during his season. So
Yeah,
how
yeah. Toledo plays Columbus this weekend at 3 in Toledo. Um,
yeah,
so I'm thinking it should. I'm just hoping that he can get some at bats down there. Hopefully, not stay down there for too long. And
yeah,
and once he comes back up, he can start mashing like we kind of expected him to. Because I don't want to give up on him just yet.
no, I not. But definitely I mean, we all know he needed to go down. It
Yeah,
was definitely showing the last few games, especially.
I mean, he struck out how many times? Like, it feels like too many times with the bases loaded. Like, I don't even know how it was as possible as how many times that he did it. It feels like he did it probably. I know he did it at least twice, but I feel like he's done it more than that.
Definitely. I definitely remember it happening multiple times in the last probably month worth of games. So I mean, and I know that's a problem with a lot of the offense right now. I feel like we're leaving the bases loaded way too often. It should not be happening. I mean, they have so many chances to actually like get back into the game and they waste it.
Yeah, it's really something. I mean, I don't know how many times we're going to leave guys on the bases, but I feel like I really hope that they can clean that up in the second half and at least do something similar to what they did last year and score some runs. I mean, but I feel like if that even happens, what afraid is going to happen is we're going to do this again, where next year the offense is going to be just as bad, and we're going to be basically in the same position because I feel like nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Eh,
It's definitely it'll be I'm hoping, I mean, I feel the whole our all the fans are hoping that the second half is going to be a lot better. I'm hoping that this break did something for them. I mean, that's all we can hope for at this point, but I mean, I know that they were talking on the radio about I heard them talking about how they think that we go 10 if we only have 10 wins, that they think that there's a potential that maybe Avila will be fired after that. But I mean, that's if that's just absolutely crazy. I'm really hoping, like, I really hope we're not into that position to where we are only going to win another 10 games this season. But
I mean, if we bottom out even further, I feel like that's a possibility. But I feel like the team can probably muster. I mean, if we're going to continue the same amount of baseball and type of baseball we're going to have, I feel like it's going to be we're going to probably win like 20 games or something like that. I mean,
yeah,
realistically, that's what you'd hope for. Hopefully, you can do more than that, but I feel like that's kind of like where I expect it to be. I don't feel like they're going to be a team that's going to be kind of catch fire anytime soon.
no,
Hopefully, I'm wrong, but I mean, I just really don't think that this team can like pull like a 10-game winning streak like the Mariners or Orioles did out of their butt, out of their ass. It really just does not make any. I just can't see it.
no. I mean, definitely, it's definitely been rough to watch the last few weeks. I try to be a very optimistic person for everyone, especially on Twitter, but it's definitely been a little bit rougher the last few weeks. It's hard to watch. Like, before during our win streak, up until once we lost that win streak, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely turned off the games, and before that, I pretty much sat through every single game. So
Yeah, I tried to do it. I mean, a lot of the times I watch most of the games, but like a lot of the times I'll just keep tabs on it and or listen to it on the radio because like I can't
yeah,
like if the product's gonna be the same, I just can't sit down and be there and like, oh, maybe this will change because I know this is nothing's gonna change the way that they play. If that
no,
makes any sense.
no, it does because then it almost seems like we're gonna get there like when they load the bases, and then I mean, how many times have we loaded the bases on like no outs or one out, and then don't even have a single run come in?
Too many times to remember.
Yeah. So
It
it's just the way, I mean, it's just hard to watch. It's
yeah.
frustrating.
I mean, I've said it before, and I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon. But like the last two things I want to say, alcohol is your friend when you're watching this team this year
Oh, yeah,
because it's hard to watch this and not like have some sort of stimulant to keep you sane.
definitely. It's just, I mean, there's just some points in the game that you don't even know what is going on. It literally looks like they're playing. I mean, there's been multiple times that people joke around that like a little league is playing because of the amount of errors that have been made during games. So,
Yeah, errors are another thing that have been a problem of the team. It it's
oh
just
yeah,
it's just a team that's been very underwhelming, and I'm really hoping something will change because I don't want to start another rebuild. I just don't think my heart can take it. So I don't want to be 27 and we finally make a playoff appearance. Like I'd love to do it right now, but obviously it's not going to happen.
no. I mean, what that article that just came out saying we literally have a 0% chance this season.
I mean, I can't see it. I just cannot see it like being any sort of percentage of where we do make it.
No. I mean, unless there's no miracles that are happening this season until something has changed.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna end it here, and we'll continue this pod as we go on along through the season, through the second half. Hopefully, we'll have a little more optimism as the season goes on, and we'll have a better format as the season goes on because we kind of improv this one. But thanks for listening, everybody. This is Show Your Stripes, and we will catch you all in the next one.
Thank you.